Hey guys, welcome back to Empire Prints. Today we're working on a Death Trooper helmet with interior details. So this is going to be a pretty complicated build. It's going to be a lot of painting and a lot of sanding. I already had this helmet pretty much sanded by the time of this recording. So it's the same process I always do. Bondo, acetone, filler primer, rinse and repeat. It's a very slow process and you want to take your time with this build because we want this helmet nice and smooth. It's going to be a nice gloss black. We are weathering it, so it's okay if there's a couple imperfections, but we really want to work on getting this helmet nice and smooth. And then once you're done with that, we can move on to painting. For the black, I'm using some Rust-Oleum flat black and then some Rust-Oleum gloss protective enamel. This is going to give that nice dull black finish. I didn't want the perfect gloss clear coat finish that everyone does. I wanted a very weathered helmet. So that protective enamel gives the perfect amount of gloss, but gives it a little dullness to add to that weathering effect. So I unfortunately do not have a resin printer, so all these parts were 3D printed, which were quite tedious to sand, but I just bumped up the quality on my printer and then did light passes of filler primer and they got nice and smooth very quickly. It's not difficult, it's just more annoying and may not be as crisp as a resin printer, but still looks amazing. And then for all the exterior details and the interior details, I did a Spaz high gloss black and then a Spaz chrome. That was what I wanted to do. I kept it a little dark for the exterior details and then went really bright with the chrome on the interior. I wanted a nice pop when you look inside the helmet, but you can paint them in any color that's going to suit what you're looking for. So I did on the interior, to make it look that much nicer with the interior details, a very thick black wash. It's mostly paint but has quite a bit of water to it because I didn't want to do straight paint. I was worried about brush strokes, so this kind of black wash helped dye everything a nice flat black, which is going to look really nice with our interior details. Moving on to painting the different color variations on the faceplate. It is not entirely gloss black, and in the movie references, just looks like flat black to me. I know in some references it says to use like a bluish tinted metallic. I just see flat black when I look at the movie used props. So I'm painting with Vallejo flat black using this 501st reference. So all the parts that aren't gloss black, I'm just painting Vallejo flat black. It does have a slightly bluish tint to it, that Vallejo black, and I think it looks really good. I don't see a difference from the movies, but you can use whatever colors you think are going to be most accurate. To me, this fit the look I was going for. So I'm very, very happy with it. And I decided to airbrush it, so I got a very smooth finish. You can brush it. You just got to be worried about brush strokes when you do that. After painting the flat black details, I forgot to paint these front two vents and the side vents with the same Spaz chrome. This was already gloss black, so it made it a little bit easier to just hit it with some chrome. I used delicate frog tape for this entire helmet. I had no issues with any residue being left on the gloss black. You just have to make sure to let your gloss black sit for a long enough period of time, about 24 to 48 hours. And then I hit all the chromed parts with a very light black wash just to give it a little bit of weathering. And then I added a little bit of black chalk in that as well. For those front two flashlight lenses, there's no easy way to do it except to perfectly cut out the shape, and there's no templates in the file, so it was very tedious. It took me about an hour to get that perfect shape. That is the only kind of gripe I have with this file. It's an amazing file, but I wish there was a template for that because it made it very challenging. After that, I just added some red and green wiring to some of the internal details. I just wanted some color to help break up that plain chrome look, and it definitely added a lot of depth and character to the inside. It was at this point that I added all of the interior details inside of the helmet, as well as some mesh behind the vents, so when it catches the light, you have that nice bit of extra detail. And then that top bridge I'm pointing to right there, I did end up dry brushing with some silver paint, as it was just going to give it that much more detail when you look inside the helmet. Then for the rest of the flat black details, I just hand painted them using that same 501st chart, and I just took my time, watered down my paints, did my best to not get brush strokes, but I was going to be weathering this helmet, so I wasn't too concerned about these details. Now for the part I've been waiting for this entire video, the weathering process. I started with some low grit sandpaper, not super low, it's more like 320, 400 grit. I think I used some 220 in there as well. And then I did a very unconventional weathering technique. I used hairspray, baby powder, and an airbrush to blow off that excess baby powder. Very little colors will show up on a gloss black helmet. It is very hard to weather in my opinion. And so the one thing that you can build up is dust and kind of dirt building up in the crevices. And that color that shows up the best are grays and white. And so I used baby powder. I was just scrolling, looking at research of how to weather a gloss black, and I scrolled upon this. I can't remember the person's name, but it is a really, really cool and fun technique, and I just had a blast doing it. It is very messy. It is gonna make your whole workspace smell like baby powder, but it is so fun. The hairspray acts as a pretty much adhesive, and then the baby powder will almost instantly stick into where it does or where you put it, and you have to do it a couple times to build it up like you would with dirt. So you might have to go back ever so often to just add a little bit more, but it starts off a very faint, so you can get a very light dusting or a heavy depending on how far you like to go. Then for the chosen places of this baby powder, I pretty much put it in every single crevice on the helmet, and then I chose a couple random spots along the edges and dome of the helmet to just have some spatters of this dirt build up, kind of like a residue got stuck on the helmet and then dirt got flown on the helmet. That was kind of what I was mimicking, and I think it turned out really cool, and I think it looks amazing. I really like this weathering technique, and I look forward to using it again at some point. But let me know what you guys think of this technique, or if you guys try it out for yourself. I think it does a very nice mimicked dirt effect. Then to finish it off, I just took some 400 grit sandpaper and hit all the high points of the helmet. This is just going to give some more scuffs and scratches to the helmet to make it look a little bit more weathered. For the rangefinder, I did the exact same thing with the hairspray and the baby powder. I probably could have used some brown in there as well, but kept everything universal, and I was very happy with how all the weathering turned out by this point. For the visor, I just used a Hobart face shield. I like the look of the black way more than the green in my opinion. It just looks better, but green is the Canon color, so if you want to be more accurate, you can use the green lens as well. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. This helmet took quite a long time to put together, but I'm really, really happy with the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed and maybe learned something along the way and can make your own Death Trooper helmet for your collection. For the interior details, I did illuminate it with some balloon lights off Amazon, just some green ones. I thought it looked really cool. I still have a lot of work to do with some padding and some more interior details, but I wanted to get this helmet out to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. If you made it this far in the video though, thank you so much for watching. This helmet was kind of a pain to make. There were a lot of interior details to paint, a lot of exterior details I wanted to get right, and practicing this new weathering technique, which I think came out amazing. I'm really happy with the look of this helmet, And for the interior details, I threw in some balloon lights and it gave off a nice green glow to all those details. And I was really happy with it. Still want to add a little bit more to the inside of the helmet with some cool looking padding and all that stuff. So stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.